In a world where technology defines everything, where motorcycles whisper instead of roar, one name has returned to remind the world that rebellion still breathes fire. The Harley Davidson Crossbones is back. After years of silence, the Crossbones rises again in 2026, not just as a motorcycle, but as a declaration. A machine forged for riders who crave soul, not silence, steel, not screens. The Crossbones was never a bike for the faint-hearted. It was raw, unapologetic, and dark, a tribute to the bobber culture of post-war America. And now, in 2026, it returns with modern power, sculpted aggression, and that same gothic heartbeat that made it an icon of rebellion. The legend of the Crossbones. To understand what makes the new Crossbones special, you need to go back to its roots. The original Harley Davidson FLSTSB Crossbones rolled out in 2008, a softail masterpiece drenched in old-school bobber DNA. It wore Springer forks, a solo seat, blacked-out metal, and a stripped-down attitude. It was not a bike for everyone, and that's exactly what made it desirable, but time moved on. Harley shifted toward touring bikes, electrics, and comfort cruisers. The Crossbones vanished, leaving behind a cult following, a community that whispered one word for years: bring it back. And now, after nearly 2 decades, Harley listened. The Crossbones returns, reimagined for the 21st century, a modern monster wearing a timeless face. The design: old soul, new skin. The 2026 Crossbones doesn't just look like the old one, it feels like it was resurrected from the ashes. Its stance is low and predatory. The frame, sculpted from Harley's latest high-strength steel, carries echoes of the 1940s bobber style. The chopped fenders, the bullet headlamp, the minimalist tail. But this time, the darkness is sharper. The paint options are pure attitude: black denim, iron blood red, and industrial chrome. The tank, hand-finished and engraved with the iconic bar and shield logo, feels less like branding and more like a badge of honor. Up front, the retro-inspired Springer fork returns, but with modern hydraulics hidden beneath its armor. Harley kept the soul of the design, but upgraded everything inside. Every weld, every bolt, every curve, it all tells one story: this bike is not built to impress a crowd. It's built to dominate the street. The engine, Milwaukee 8 reforged. At the heart of the beast lies Harley's most advanced powerplant yet, the Milwaukee 8 121V twin. It's air and oil cooled, tuned specifically for the Crossbones to deliver a visceral punch at low RPMs. You twist the throttle, and the world moves differently, a deep, rolling thunder that shakes the air. Harley claims 128 horsepower and 175 Newton-meters of torque, but numbers don't tell the story. What you feel is instant power, the kind that makes your spine straighten and your heartbeat sync with the engine's rhythm. Despite the rawness, the engine meets Euro 6 standards thanks to Harley's new variable valve timing and adaptive fuel injection. It's cleaner, faster, and more efficient, yet it growls like an outlaw. The exhaust is a work of dark art. Black chrome dual pipes with slash-cut tips, tuned to deliver that unmistakable Harley note. A low, primal growl that says, move over. The frame and handling, rebellion, refined. The 2026 Crossbones rides on Harley's next-generation Softail Evo frame, redesigned for rigidity and balance. The rake and trail are slightly steeper than before, improving cornering stability without losing the classic chopper stance. Front suspension comes via the updated Springer fork system, a nod to history with modern damping and anti-dive tech. At the rear, a hidden monoshock provides modern comfort, adjustable for preload and rebound, all tucked neatly out of sight to preserve the rigid look. This isn't a bike meant for racetracks, it's a street warrior. But Harley fine-tuned the geometry so it glides through corners with surprising agility. Every curve, every bump, the Crossbones handles it with muscle and grace, as if the road itself bows in respect. The technology, old school outside, smart inside. You might look at the Crossbones and think it's pure old school, no screens, no nonsense. But look closer. Harley has embedded tech subtly into the beast. A minimalist 3.5-inch TFT display sits behind the vintage headlamp housing, blending seamlessly into the design. It gives you navigation, ride modes, and connectivity, all through Harley's latest HD Connect app. You can toggle between street, rain, and sport modes, or customize your own rogue mode, a unique Crossbones-only setting that enhances torque response and throttle aggression. The bike also features cornering abs, traction control, hill hold assist, and adaptive LED lighting. But Harley made sure none of it feels intrusive. You don't see it. You don't think about it. You just ride, and it works in the background, like an invisible guardian. The ride experience, power with purpose. To ride the new Crossbones is to feel the past and the future collide. When you swing a leg over the saddle, you don't just sit, you assume command. The solo bobber seat, stitched in thick leather, sits low at just 690 millimeters, giving you full control. The handlebars rise high, ape style, with new anti-vibration dampers built into the risers. You grab them, twist the throttle, and feel that old Harley pulse, but sharper, cleaner, more alive. At low speeds, it's smooth and controlled. On the open road, it transforms into a wild animal. The torque floods in like a wave, and every gear shift feels mechanical, deliberate, just as a Harley should. The Crossbones doesn't just carry you. It demands that you ride with purpose. Every movement, every sound, every vibration, it's a conversation between man and machine. The build quality, craftsmanship reborn. Every Crossbones is hand-assembled in Milwaukee. The craftsmanship shows, in the paint, in the welds, in the way the tank hugs the frame. It's raw metal meeting modern precision. The switchgear is all metal, the grips wrapped in aged leather, and the foot controls forged from aircraft-grade aluminum. Nothing feels plastic. Nothing feels fake. It's a real machine built by real hands, the kind of bike that looks like it could outlive its owner. The price of darkness. Harley has announced that the 2026 Crossbones will start at $21,999 USD, placing it between the Softail Standard and the Lowrider S. That price brings you heritage, performance, and exclusivity, but Harley also plans limited Dark Rebellion editions, with serial numbered plates, custom finishes, and unique art on the tank. Only 1,000 units of the Dark Rebellion will be built worldwide, each one a collector's piece. For the loyal, for the dreamers, and for those who live by throttle, this is not just a purchase. It's a legacy. On the road, real-world soul. Take it out on the highway, and the Crossbones becomes poetry in motion. At 100 kilometers per hour, the engine hums with confidence. The wind hits your chest, the road sings beneath the tires, and the world feels right again. Every vibration through the grips feels intentional, not discomfort, but connection. When you lean into a curve, the bike flows naturally. You feel the weight, yes, but it's balanced, predictable, and solid. In city traffic, the torque lets you glide through with authority. On country roads, it becomes a time machine, taking you back to when riding was pure, mechanical, and honest. This isn't a bike for commuting. It's for living. For riders who don't just want to go places, they want to feel every mile. Competing in 2026, the rebel among machines. The 2026 motorcycle world is crowded. From Indian's Chief Bobber to Triumph's Bonneville Bobber and Yamaha's 15950 Bolt, the market is full of retro-style cruisers. But none carry the same weight as Harley's name. The Crossbones isn't trying to be faster or cheaper, it's trying to be realer. It's a statement against sterile engineering and soulless machines. It's a middle finger to conformity. While other bikes chase specs, the Crossbones chases something timeless, character. That's what makes it stand out. That's why riders will wait, save, and fight to own one. The future of the Crossbones line. Harley has hinted that the Crossbones will become a sub-line, a platform for future retro customs. Rumors suggest upcoming variants like a Crossbones Tracker and a Crossbones Club Edition, each blending vintage style with modern performance. But Harley's CEO made it clear, the Crossbones is not about volume. It's about soul.